how do you know which SMTs you can trust and which ones not? So this is a very common question because obviously when you're looking at a bullish SMT, you want price doing something like this, but most of the times it will just completely ignore the SMT like this and you don't know why this happens. So this is my answer to this. The best way you can learn SMT is by doing two things, and the last one is the best one. First off, you study only the ones who work. If you do this, you don't really learn because at the end of the day, all you see is just winning setups, right? But studying SMTs at work can be very beneficial because you just learn by backtesting today's or past week's price action. I don't like the replay feature, the backtesting stuff. Backtesting for me is really just going back to the day, past week, because there are so many factors that come into play every single day and you just can't replay a chart of 2022 in my opinion. So this is amazing and what you should do every single day to journal and look back on the week, but it's not as efficient as backtesting failed ones because there is less to learn. So the best way, in my opinion, to learn SMT is to study only the ones that don't work. Why? Well, because you just learn so much more when you actually try to identify why an SMT does not work, in contrast of just summing up your confluences as to why it did work, because you just learn way less, right? So in my opinion, if you want to learn a concept, this just doesn't apply to SMT only. I'm just taking this as an example, but when you learn a trading concept, study when it works, but most importantly, study when it doesn't work. This is what I did, and to be honest, it's just helping me so much more to actually become better at my trading system because I constantly check for, okay, this one failed, this one failed, this one failed. Just draw out those things on your chart that end up failing because you will always need to identify why instead of just seeing, this SMT worked because of this confluence, right? So you learn way more if you actually try to break down your trade, why it didn't work. I think that's the best way to learn. And like I said, this way of learning just applies to every single concept. So if you understand this, in my next video, I will talk about how you can actually spot valid or invalid SMTs.